Rapture was built as a paradise of absolute freedom, a city where no one could tell you what to do. But when freedom runs unchecked, something always fills the void. In Rapture's case, it was power, control, and hidden laws. Hello, my name is Tim, and today we're going to explore how Rapture, a city that rejected all authority, still found itself ruled by laws and tyrants. Rapture was created with the mantra, no gods, no kings, only men. Andrew Ryan despised traditional governments like America and the USSR. He saw them as oppressive systems, stifling individual potential with laws, taxes and regulations. Ryan's solution was to create a laissez-faire society, a place where people could engage in free market transactions without any form of government interference. In theory, this was a capitalist utopia. Any citizen could prosper purely on their own gain, without being weighed down by the needs of the others. Rapture was supposed to be a place where the exceptional could rise, free from any interference. But there's where things start to fall apart. Even in this so-called free society, there's an enforcement mechanism. We see security cameras, turrets and drones patrolling the streets. There are even constables who act like police officers. And we quickly realize that the absence of a formal government doesn't mean the absence of control. One of the most notable signs of a law enforcement body in Rapture was the Rapture Central Council, served as the main legislative body in the city. It is unclear just how much real power the council had, given that Ryan himself was the head of it. They had the authority to seize property, issue arrest warrants, and manage aspects of life in Rapture. This council, which included figures like Dr. Tenenbaum and Sander Cohen, played a significant role in controlling the direction of the city. It is ironic because in a society that was supposed to have no laws and no formal government, the council did wield power. While Andrew Ryan spoke against government interference, this was in fact a pseudo-government in action. As far as we know, no formal laws were drafted in Rapture. So how did they manage day-to-day transactions? To keep the peace and protect the interest of the elite, Andrew Ryan didn't just rely on philosophy. He established Ryan Security. This private security force wasn't just a typical company offering protection. It became the de facto enforcer of order in Rapture. Ryan Security had the largest presence in the city, though other private security firms could exist as long as they obeyed the council. The bots, cameras and turrets that dotted the city were all part of Ryan's broader surveillance network, marketed as tools for safety, but in reality they maintained control. One of the most notable missions for Ryan Security was to crack down on Frank Fontaine, who had been smuggling plasmids to the surface for profit, a direct violation of Rapture's most sacred law, which forbade any contact with the outside world. But wait, how could this be illegal in a place with no formal laws or government? This shows Ryan's increasing obsession with controlling the city's narrative, ensuring that his vision of freedom wasn't compromised, even if it meant creating laws to protect it. The culmination of this conflict was the infamous attack on Fontaine's operations. Fontaine was supposedly killed, but as we know, he re-emerged as Atlas, rallying the underclass and setting the stage for the civil war that would tear the city apart. As civil war erupted, the very concept of freedom in Rapture collapsed. Andrew Ryan, once the champion of individual liberty, became a full-blown tyrant. With his back against the wall, he seized total control of the city, shutting out the council and ruling with an iron fist. What started as a utopia descended into a dystopia, with Ryan using every tool at his disposal to crush resistance. Surveillance, security and violence became the law of the land. The man who promised a city free from tyranny became the tyrant himself. Ryan's descent wasn't just a betrayal of his principles, it was inevitable. The system of power and control he set up to protect Rapture ultimately became the chains that bound it, and Ryan transformed into the very thing he sought to escape. Rapture was built on the ideal of freedom, but in practice it became a place where the strong ruled over the weak. Monopolies crushed competition and law enforcement maintained order in a supposedly lawless city. The rich got richer and the poor were left to fend for themselves, and as the gap widened, resentment grew. This made it all too easy for a figure like Fontaine, later known as Atlas, to rally the underclass and ignite a civil war. Rapture's downfall was written in its DNA from the start. By rejecting government argument, Rapture didn't create freedom, it created a vacuum that was quickly filled by power-hungry individuals and corporations. This resulted in a society that was just as oppressive, if not more so, than the ones Ryan sought to escape. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe for more. I will be here every week making lore videos about your favorite games. As always, I'll see you in the next one. Bye!